I think sometimes we tend to forget how to properly treat our fellow man, from not wanting to engage with others to thinking that they are the reincarnation of the Antichrist. We just can't seem to grasp the concept of being a decent human being to others. Who can blame us? The more I look through the tiny hole that is the internet, I see nothing but degenerates and downright deplorable people running amok, making us all lose hope in humanity. Yet, humanity always finds a way to keep us pleasantly surprised, delivering us that one rare, genuine person that restores that fading faith back into our tired minds. When I say TikTok, the first thing that will pop in your subconscious is something negative about the platform. With the amount of stupid, brain-dead pranks, stunts, trends, whatever you want to call it, it's absolutely understandable why TikTok would give us all a splitting headache. But what if I told you that there was good content on TikTok? That there are good, entertaining content creators on the cursed website? That shouldn't come as a shock to you, honestly. Every platform has its good side and its bad sides. You might say that that might be true, but finding good content is hard on TikTok. Then allow me to help you on your journey in finding this diamond in the rough. Let me tell you about this one content creator that makes the most fascinating videos on the platform. May I present to you TikTok's best, Hunter Prosper. Let's go back a bit to what I said earlier in the video. Doom and gloom. No hope in humanity. We the people turning against our fellow man like savages. With these things, it paints a bad picture of man, making us all look like monsters. But people like Hunter Prosper reminds us that not only can there be pleasant little surprises in life, and he helps us remind ourselves that we're more alike than we are different. These two reasons, along with other minor details, are the reason why Hunter Prosper stands out against the crowd. But what kind of videos does he make? With prior knowledge of how TikTok works, Hunter Prosper has a couple of series on his channel, but they all have one thing in common. Strangers. Not with familiar faces, but with strangers. Just saying the word gives me a little anxiety. Hunter's videos mainly consists of him interacting with complete strangers, random people that he just happened to be near him on that day. He'll ask them something, and they will respond. Hunter adds different shots of landscapes or just ordinary things while it's accompanied with some peaceful classical music. As stated earlier, Hunter has a handful of series on his TikTok page. These include Stories from a Stranger, Notes from a Stranger, Advice from a Stranger, and other miscellaneous videos that are still worth the watch. Let's first talk about my favorite series that Hunter has made so far. Stories from a Stranger. Ironically, Stories from a Stranger was the thing that first introduced me to Hunter Prosper. The video starts off with Hunter asking a random stranger a question that pertains to something that happened in their lives. I find the answer that these people give Hunter are very interesting.
What was the name of your first love, and why did you fall in love with him?
Wow. My husband, Edward. I used to go visit my aunt all the time, and he was her next door neighbor, and I think I just knew.
How long were you two married?
47 years. He used to cook for me all the time. He was just kind, understanding. He listened to me talk, you know, and we just shared everything.
What's your name?
Debbie.
Debbie Hunter.
You see, stories for me are very important because they have the ability to not only entertain, but to also teach the audience something towards the end. When most of these strangers tell their stories from their lives, you'll find yourself taking something out of it. Many of these stories are so profound that I find myself still thinking about what the person said. What makes this more intriguing, in my opinion, that strangers, for the most part, keep their stories to themselves. It is a private affair after all. Yet Hunter has found a way to break through a person's defenses and uncover a story that could honestly help someone on their own journey through life. Not many people can do that. Another reason why I love Stories from a Stranger so much is because it's comforting to listen to others share their struggles, triumphs, failures, and fun adventures. When I find myself struggling with my metaphorical mountains, the idea that I'm the only one dealing with this only serves to worsen the isolationist in me. But when I hear a stranger tell their story for a brief 10 seconds, I'm able to step back for a moment and view my situation in a new perspective. The story holds a lot of power and weight to it, which unfortunately not many people realize. Overall, stories from a stranger, while being short videos, carries a punch that will definitely keep you thinking on what the stranger had to say. Notes to a stranger. The concept of notes to a stranger is pretty self-explanatory. Hunter goes to a random stranger, gives them a little note, and leaves immediately after, not even waiting to see the person's reaction. The notes themselves aren't the highlight of the video though. Most of the notes felt like it was ripped off from a quirky Instagram post made by some out-of-touch white woman. What makes notes to a stranger so special are the reactions the person gives after receiving the note. The majority of the reactions aren't bombastic, over-the-top stuff. No one is jumping up and down with joy, but the reactions are subtle, relaxed, but still noticeable. You'll even see their demeanor change after receiving the note. No one can crawl inside your head and know exactly what you're thinking or feeling, but your own body language can betray you, letting people know what you're thinking or feeling. Notes to a stranger plays right into that concept of body language. Seeing someone perk up or lay their head back against the wall as if being given that note just lifted a huge burden off their shoulders is very refreshing. I won't lie, seeing people get into drama is extremely entertaining, but seeing moments of other human beings lifting someone's spirits up is also very enjoyable to watch. Advice from a stranger. I make sure to pay very close attention to what's being said in the videos from Advice from a Stranger. Advice, in general, is a rare, invaluable thing to come by nowadays. Good advice is even more rare. So whenever someone gives me a piece of advice, I make sure to listen to what they have to say so I can dissect it and see if I can apply it to my own life. For the most part, it doesn't stick, but for the lucky moments that it does stick, I'll keep it close to my heart. But getting advice from a stranger? It's not something that happens often, nor is it something I would be inclined to listen. Advice from a stranger reminds us that even though this is indeed someone I have and will probably never meet, that doesn't mean what they have to say doesn't inherently hold any value or weight behind it. The video starts off with Hunter asking a stranger,
What is one piece of advice that you live by?
and they'll share their little piece of knowledge.
To do the right thing and to treat people the way I'd like to be treated.
Have you always lived your life like that?
Pretty much. Sometimes, you wish you would have done things in different ways. But basically, I like to get back what I give, and I feel that I'm on the right side of the track.
Very simple. Nothing too complicated, right? Even your average Twitter user can understand the concept. But for most, the piece of advice given might not resonate with them, which is completely fine. Sometimes the stranger will give Hunter a goofy response or just downright bad advice. The thing that grabs my attention the most is not necessarily the advice given, but rather the afterthought of it, because I can't help to ponder how that person was able to come up with that advice. One would imagine that it must have taken them years to come up with that answer, or maybe they experienced something so important that they have to make sure someone else knows about it so they can be ready for when it's their turn. It's a good idea overall to heed someone's warnings when they give it to you. The past is the ultimate teacher of the present. So why not listen? Why not reflect on the advice that one stranger gave to you at some point in your life? Nothing happens by accident after all. So when someone comes your way with a piece of advice, think of it like they're helping you guide you to your destination, your destiny. Hunter Prosper has definitely hit a soft spot in my heart with his content. Even with all the garbage on TikTok and on the internet, Hunter's content is like a warm, welcoming flame that breaks through the cold darkness that surrounds us every day. Simply put, Hunter's videos can help remind yourself that you're not alone in the dark, and that there are other people just like you. It's just a matter of making an effort to fighting these people. And when you do go out on your journey, you will find a stranger that one day will turn into a brother. Brave the storm, my friends, because we're more alike than you think. Hunter Prosper is TikTok's best.